Riley. Oh, watch out for the salt rock. Watch out. Oh, she's all tangled up in the salt rock. Oh my god.
She should not be under that table.
She should not. This is a recipe for disaster.
You're going to put the drink right there. She's going to end up knocking it off with her head.
What is this?
It's like a peach something. White peach something.
I'm a white peach.
Try mine.
Oh, no. I don't like it.
You remember before we did the podcast, you said...
What?
Can't be sober for it. So when we went to go get... I don't know if they can see her.
No, they can't.
Say something to the camera, Riley.
Riley. Oh, stop. Riley, your paw. Okay.
Woof.
I'm just
Vodka's already hit me.
keep this over here.
That's not good.
Watch out for that salt rock.
Yeah, that's my salt rock. My hippie salt rock.
Hippie salt rock.
So what led you to get Riley?
Well,
First of all, what is she? Who is she?
what is Riley? What is Riley?
What is she?
Riley.
It's a lot of vodka. oh shit. Since I never drink, I don't watch people make drinks, and I don't go to drink. I don't know how to make drinks. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to pour drinks. Oh my god.
What is this?
Like peach wine.
It's just like normal.
What do you mean normal?
Like, I don't know. I don't want to be like you.
What does that mean?
I don't want to.
You just offended half the people watching this. Yeah, so did you ever want to adopt a dog?
So, Riley is our dog. You're asking me questions that you don't know, that you know.
Yeah, I know.
But it's weird. But we both know these questions.
How else would I do it?
I'm having trouble with the concept of podcast.
It's not supposed to be questions. It's supposed to be just talking.
Then you should just talk to me, and we should assume that you know what Riley is. You silly thing.
You're right. You're probably a lot better at this than I am.
Yeah. I think I'm going to ask you the questions.
I feel like my words are...
Okay.
You're really good at that.
I'm going to ask you...
Wait a second,
I'm going to ask you the questions.
Can I just got to say something real quick.
Okay.
Whatever I say in this next 30, 40 hour and a half, whatever it is, I'm under the influence. So if you guys ever want to take me to court for whatever I say, I am mentally incapable of it. So all contracts, anything that I do is voidable.
Can we start over?
No, we can go ahead and just keep going.
Okay.
Just forewarning.
Welcome to the podcast.
Episode 45.
These are my pajamas.
Sorry.
What?
Episode 45.
Welcome to the Michael Lab Show. Episode 45.
It's creepy you're staring at them.
These are my pajamas. My mom has a matching set.
Show me a drink. Looks like I barfed it up. We don't know what we're
I don't
doing.
think that they can see how, like...
Pulpy it is?
Pulpy it is.
It's pulp. It's like white peach.
It looks like you took, like, orange juice and... something out of the backyard.
I just added... I have, like, strawberry lemonade mixed with vodka over here. With ice in it. And it just tastes like vodka. You're doing a good job with the intro. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah,
Is that a chalice? Is that the proper name for that? A chalice?
I don't know.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
But I'm worried that your mom would be mad we're drinking out of it. It looks fancy.
When has my mom ever gotten mad at anything?
Never.
She doesn't get angry.
I don't even know what that would look like.
It's kind of funny.
I don't think she even has that face.
Thanksgiving's coming up. I'll get to it on that. I'm really good at doing that. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm gonna be out of it here in a second. 60
Okay.
seconds.
So
dumb fuck Charlie down there. I just gave her 3 treats and she's gone. She's like, I don't want the treat.
My question for you is...
Fuck. You didn't welcome them all the way. Hello, people. Welcome to episode 45. Sorry for the lack of content lately. Michael's been self-destructing, so he had to unself-destruct.
That's a good point. Should we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. How I just blew up inside.
Yeah.
My penis started bleeding. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Sorry, I took it too far again. I've been self-destructing. Slowly.
Is this what your podcasts usually sound like? This is terrifying.
Usually,
you guys listen to this?
A lot of people do. I have well over 1,000 listens on YouTube.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I've been in a downward spiral, just mentally unstable, slowly falling apart, zipper going down. So I had to backtrack and find my way back to a steady ground. Stop. Don't. I don't know what any of that does over there. Vince helped me hook it up, and ever since then, I had no idea what I'm doing. I just clicked 2 buttons.
For those of you watching or listening, on the...
Oh.
What is this thing called?
Podcast?
This thing.
Oh, that's a Roadster.
There is a Roadster.
Podcast Pro.
A podcast
Roadcaster Pro. Roadcaster Pro. That's what it is.
Stop interrupting me.
That's what it is.
Anyway, the point is, it has all of these rainbow buttons on it, and Michael says that I'm not allowed to push them.
They make sound effects, and I don't know what sound effects they make.
They make sound effects?
Yeah, and I don't know if they... No, stop it. I don't know if they break up the continuation of the audio. I don't know how any of that works. I don't want you to mess it up.
When's the last time I messed anything up?
I want to get a mic just for farting.
Michael, no. You cannot do a podcast like this.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
No one can tell me I can't.
I'm telling you.
No, this is what's beautiful about podcasting. This is what you can do.
People listen to this?
It's kind of ridiculous. People listen to Bert Kreischer's podcast. Have you heard of that thing? It's like watching someone just slowly commit mental suicide. He just goes in a downward spiral.
Don't talk about Bert like that. So, what's it like being a college dropout, but then messing that up?
I feel like $1 million Indian baby. I feel like I was gifted this second chance in this world. What does it feel to be like a college dropout? It felt like freedom.
What does it feel like to not be a college dropout anymore after you succeeded the first time?
Succeeded?
Yeah.
How do you succeed dropping out?
You just, according to you,
Stop going.
Stop going. Stop going.
Can you even be a dropout if you never drop out? You just stop going. What am I? What's that classify me as? I actually didn't drop any of my classes.
An idiot.
Just stop going to class.
A GPA anchor.
No, I'm a GPA.
That's good. That's funny. A GPA anchor.
No, I'm a GPA riser.
You're a GPA anchor.
I'm a GPA anchor.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
How's it feel dropping out? It felt awesome. I was very happy with my decision at the time.
You're not good at answering the questions either.
And I don't regret it ever. I very much enjoyed it. I liked my decision. I thought it was very, very needed at the time. Because I wasn't going to continue in college and enjoy it. I was just going to continue to hate it. And then what was going to happen, I was going to just end up resenting college more than anything. I was going to eventually drop out. So it had to happen eventually. Otherwise, I would have stayed in college, and I would have hated college. And I would have hated everyone around me who made me go to college. And I would have hated you. I would have hated my family. I would have hated my parents. Because everybody, I looked at them as people who were making me stay in school when I wanted to get out of school. So then I was like, oh, let's not go to school. So I stopped going to school, and then I felt like there was a huge weight off the back. And you supported me, which is the coolest part.
I agree.
Nobody else supported me. I mean, not like in the sense that you did. Not that you supported me. You just didn't like. You were like, "Is this what you want?" I was like, "Yeah," and you said, "Okay." But I will say now, being back at school at 23 is a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird sitting around with a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-olds feeling like the grandfather.
We have this girl in my neuroscience program, and she has like a fiance and everything. And
it's a little strange.
It's a little weird, but she's a little weird.
Imagine how weird it is for them, too.
Yeah.
Those people tend to work a little bit harder than everybody else.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
But one time I sat next to her for the first day of class, and then she moved her seat. So now I'm concerned that she doesn't like me.
You may just have smelled bad on that day.
I probably did.
Mm-hmm. Or knowing you, because I've had to sit next to you, you probably just didn't shut the fuck up.
I know that I did that.
You just talked the entire time.
I did.
About useless bullshit.
I talk about important things.
No. Not from my experience with you.
When's the last time you watered your cactus?
Someone told me to not.
Ever? And you just interpreted that as I'm not ever going to...
I'll water it right now.
You're about to fuck up your
Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Do not. Michael, idiot, stupid. Why would you do that? What made you think that was going to work? Stop. It's still not going to work.
Watch this. Ready? That's what you're going to do. Pour it right here. Look at that. Ready?
Brilliant.
Now what about this one? Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. You're pretty surprised that these lasted that long, aren't you? This is not a drinking competition, Taylor. It's not a drinking competition.
No. Okay, I think that you should tell...
Go on record and tell them that you are 21.
I am 21.
And I am 23. We are eligible to consume alcohol in this country.
I want to say sorry to my parents.
I want to say sorry to anybody I blatantly make fun of in this podcast, especially any sex of the population out there.
Okay, so...
Like there's people with the fucking crossed eye and only one eye.
You should tell the people of the world.
Do Asian people have squintier eyes depending on what country they come from?
Yes. I think that you should tell the people of the world about Are you trying to blow dry the water that you spilled on the table?
Okay, what do these people need to know? What are you doing?
I think you should tell them about how you had a crush on me and I tried to friend zone you.
I don't recall. When did you ever try to friend zone me? There's no friend zoning.
I tried to use you for math help.
Didn't work on me. It's bullshit. I knew what you wanted.
No, I really just wanted to pass math.
I didn't.
I wanted an A.
I wanted your A.
I can't.
Sorry. I needed an A too in that class. I wasn't doing too well. I ended up failing both of those classes. I ended up finishing off the math class with a solid 27 on the last exam. Currently I have an A in calc though, so it's neither here nor there. Yeah, so this bitch right here, she's sitting next to this fucktard in our math class. This fucker loves cars. This fuck just did not stop talking about these stupid fucking cars.
That's true.
And I sat right next to this.
He kept talking to me about how he was going to get these things for his car.
Spoilers.
And they were lights. It was going to go
Ugh.
underneath his car.
Ugh.
And I was like, why would you put the lights underneath your car? And he was like, it's just going to look cool.
Yeah, so I had to listen to this fucking kid talk to just this smoke show. I'm talking just tight, beautiful. Just beautiful, man. Oh my God, just a beautiful person. And and then I saw Taylor. You know what I mean? Then I saw this Taylor. I didn't know who this person was, but we were sitting there in math class, and you know, the dumbass teacher. She wasn't smart. She was stupid, right? What was her name? No, don't say her name. But this chick was like, she was one of those adjunct teachers, so one of the ones that like smoke crack on the side and then try to teach math on the other side.
Yeah.
Just there for the paycheck and I guess the health insurance. I don't fucking know. Bernie Sanders 2020. And then you had this little midget looking dude who probably had a Subaru, and I was a boss, dude. Straight bossing out, you know what I mean? And I was wearing my jeans, and I was wearing my growth takes time jacket, and I was popping myself up in the class every single day, just cooling, man, you know, on time. And then I'd be sitting there with my back pressed up against the window, and I saw boop, Dum Dum 1 come in, followed by Dum Dum 2. Didn't know her at the time, but Dum Dum 2. And just why was she Dum Dum 2? She was Dum Dum 2 because she was talking to Dum Dum 1 and giving Dum Dum 1 the time of the day. So we sit there in math class, and you know, teacher's like, "What's the derivative of this? What's the derivative of this?" And you got this chick right here just sitting there saying, "I don't know what the derivative is," and everybody doesn't know what the derivative is, but she is like this, asking, "Can you go over that one again? Can you go over that one again? Can you go over that one again?" And I'm sitting here just like straight cool and like, what the fuck? And then you have Spoiler McGee over there saying, "I know how to do that one. I learned how to do that one when I was like 15 years old." And Taylor's like, "Not everything's about you. There's some people that actually learn in this class."
That's not true.
Hey,
oh, wait.
You
the guy
always
in the
turned
back?
around and always stared at all of them.
Oh my gosh. The people in the back. Do you remember?
Yeah, they talked about dicks all the time.
There was like some guy in the back who like was being a jerk and would talk through the entire class. And
what did you do?
did I ever say anything to him?
Yes, you did. You turned around and you snapped on them.
What did I say?
You said, "Excuse me, guys, can you please quiet down?"
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said something like that.
I would never be that confrontational.
You definitely turned around and said something with your glasses on, with your little white jacket on. You definitely did. But anyway, so she wasn't good at math. She wasn't like as good as math. Mind you, I got a 27, so I've never been to talk. But then we go to this class, anatomy physiology, which, God forbid, dude, this class was basically just a bunch of firefighters just trying to get an extra pay grade.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all they cared
and
about.
at the time, I was trying to go to paramedic school.
Yeah, so it was
a prerequisite. That's why there were all the firefighters, was it was a prereq
for
the paramedic school at AACC.
Yeah, and everybody that was taking the class was going to be a firefighter. And then you had a few people that were just taking, I don't know why they were taking the class. And I was one of those people. I took this class because there was looking up the classes, it was like you learn about the muscle system. I was like, cool, I like muscles. I like to I like to work out muscles. So I signed up the class, and I show up there the first day, and it's just a class full of 40 to 50-year-old firefighters. Then you had this person over there in the corner, and we had this teacher who was like straight out of Iraq. What was she?
She was nice.
I know, I'm talking about the accent, though.
I don't know. She did have a really difficult...
Was it like a Middle Eastern accent or like Indian?
Yeah, like maybe Indian.
Her name was Moody, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Miss Moody.
Dr. Moody.
I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Wait, no, that's from Harry Potter.
No, I think she was Dr. Moody. I am Dr. Moody. And I distinctly remember she did this thing where it was like a science extracurricular activity thing for the class. And you were the only one who like did it in the class. And I remember like at the beginning of the class, she would have like a private one-on-one conversation with you about like your experience with the get together, something like that. and that would fade in just a little bit into class time. So then everybody in class had to listen to Dr. Moody and Taylor talk about like her extra credit bullshit while all of us are just trying to get through the next
I don't remember any
90-minute
of this.
class. I do. It's like an extracurricular science thing that you were doing with Dr. Moody or something.
I don't think I did.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up. But I remember just...
What I do remember is at the beginning we had to go around with our little circle sheet and pick like...
clocks. It was a clock with
It
numbers.
was a clock, and we had to pick group members.
Which was living hell for me.
And so, like, I went around and I picked everyone who I thought was cute. And
wasn't me.
none of those people were Michael.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
I didn't do that. I had morals.
And so I remember that after we did that, like, the first time we went to do it, I, like, had totally done mine wrong. And I was just like... Yeah, I completely messed this thing up, and I like messed the whole thing up for the entire class. And so she had to just like change the way that she did it because I couldn't figure out how to use the stupid clock group maker.
This is very hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so one day we were like doing this project thing and like walking around talking to people in class. I think it was like a homework. It was like a test or something. So we used to like do these tests where you could like walk around and do the test. Do you remember that? She had like stations set up around the room.
That wasn't a test.
What was that? That was like a take-home assignment.
No, the class was it was lecture lab in one. That's why it was so long.
Like 8 hours long.
No, it was like 3.5 or something like that. So we would have the lecture, and then we would walk around and get like the models and stuff, and like write down the anatomy.
Yeah, I hated that shit. But she always had like these tight jeans on, so every time she would get up,
I never wore jeans.
Tight yoga pants on. Every time she would do that, I'd be like, "There's my skeleton." Sorry.
That's what you said to yourself.
No, but I definitely said those are pretty cheeks. Sorry. Beautiful person. Yeah, anyways. So we're like walking around the classroom and she comes up to me, or I go up to her and she's like, "Are you the person from my math class?" And I was like, "Damn it, she doesn't know who I am." So I was like, "Yeah, that's me from the math class."
Yeah. This is like at the end of the semester, pretty much.
And we did make eye contact a few times in math class. She like passed me a piece of paper, or she would give me like the dirty look for like talking in class or something. Because she thinks she's like the teacher's sidekick, like she's like the Robin of Batman, and but like without the degree, but like thinks she has to keep everyone in line. She also answers all the questions. So she basically is the sidekick for the professor.
Sometimes I feel bad because I feel bad for the professors when they ask a question and no one answers, and I don't want the professor to feel bad about themselves. So I answer the questions if no one else does.
But it makes them a better professor. It means that they're fucking up.
I'm just here to help, okay?
The class is boring. Anyway, so she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I need your number, bro."
No,
because she was bad at math.
I said, "Hey, like, do you want to study together for math? Like, do you think you could help me?" And together. When I said, like,
I don't study, by the way. I was like,
yeah, I'm really having trouble in math. And what I meant by having trouble in math was, like, I had a B on my 4.0 GPA. And what Michael meant by struggling in math was that he had a D. And so he was like, yeah, man, I'm not doing too well either. I failed the last test. And I was like, well, shit, never mind. And you were like, oh, but like we can like trade numbers. And so we swapped numbers, and you texted me like that weekend, and you were like, do you want to get coffee? And I ghosted you for a week. And then you texted me again. I don't remember what the second text was. I don't remember.
I remember you saying you don't like coffee.
I took pity on you. I felt bad. I was like, I am a bad person for just not even responding to this guy. I should give him a chance.
She said she didn't like coffee.
Is that what I said?
Mm-hmm. Then your sister sent me a video of you drinking coffee, and you're like, nah. And in my mind, I was like, well, the dumbass doesn't have anything in it. It's just black coffee. So you know shit, you don't like black coffee.
I kind of remember that.
Anyway, so then we started talking in class, and then we would like hang out between our lab and our lecture, and then we would talk about fishing, and then we left one day in class, and I said I'll walk her to the car, and she got scared of the wind. She tried to hide underneath my jacket. I said, what the fuck are you doing? Hiding from the wind. I was like, I'm not going to be able to protect you. I'm not a big monster.
That was before I'd even talked to you. That was the first interaction that we ever had together, because you were like kind of big and fluffy, and it was really cold, and we were walking to our car. I was walking to my car, and I was talking to that guy that you hate, and it was like super windy, and so I just ran up behind you, who at the time was like this complete stranger. I just like ran up behind you, and I was like, I'm hiding from the wind, and you just like looked at me and like kept walking, and I was like, oh, this is awkward. That's how it went.
Yeah, because you can't hide from the wind.
I was hiding from the wind behind you.
Behind me.
Yes.
Anyway, so I walked her to the car, then I kissed her.
Not that same day.
Huh?
Not that same day.
Oh.
Later.
Like what? A week later?
No. Like weeks.
2?
Like 3.
3. Yeah, and then like we were like, I kissed her. Then I had to go to class the next day. It was like really weird because I was like, I kissed that girl. Mind you, by the way, just so everyone knows, like this wasn't like when I first walked into the classroom, I was like, holy shit, that girl is beautiful. Like I thought this was like the most beautiful person in the world. Like I had my eyes like deadlocked on her all the time, like stalker vibes. Like if I was fatter and I was uglier, I would have been locked up for stalking. Like just beautiful. And I loved like the way that she was like so confident about like giving answers in class. And I joke around
Wrong
about
answers.
it. I was like, she was always giving answers even if they were wrong. And then she was always like staying after her, and she was always like talking to the people in the classrooms, even the people who deserved to be bullied. And she was just like really, really cool. So like when I was able to like kiss her, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. It was like if you're a Jew and like your boy Joseph comes back and hangs out with you for the day, you know, if you're like Muslim, you get to hang out with Allah for the day. I was like, holy fuck, I get to hang out with Taylor. And then I tried to find her on Instagram, and I found this other Taylor Boyd, I guess. I couldn't find her. So I followed this other Taylor Boyd, and she never accepted my friend request. And I was like, fuck. But then I figured out that the real Taylor Boyd was this T. Sydney boy. It wasn't just Taylor Boyd. So then kissed her. I showed up late to work because I didn't want to go to work on time. And the same day I kissed her, I met her whole family. I hung out with the dogs. Her sister didn't really have hair at the time. There was 4 dogs. The house was set up completely differently. I met Dad. I met Mom. Basically had to tell them that I wasn't good at school, but I was going to try to stay in school, which was a bad start from the beginning because I was like, fuck school. They're like, you should go to school. I'm like, no, fuck school. I work at a restaurant. They're like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I'm a manager, which is good because saying that you're a manager, people are like, oh, you have responsibility. You must get paid well. And yes, that's true, but you're the manager of a restaurant, so it's like not really anything special.
I thought you were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool that, like, I got perks, you know? Like, you would swipe me the free cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty great. That was
I would always bring home
highlight.
Food, too, for you guys.
Michael had one manager's free meal, and you would always bring it home for me.
Yeah, it turned in just free food all the time for me, though.
Yeah, and sometimes I would get off work at Lido's, and I would come, like, wait for you to get off work at Adams and finish managing, and so I'd just sit there.
Should you get a free crab cake?
Yeah, and you would, like, make me ice cream and stuff. That was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
That was cool.
And now she gets gym membership access.
And now I get to go to the gym.
Hang out with the friends there. But that was kind of like a backstory of how we met. But kind of cool, man. It's been through a lot. It's been 3 years now, and it's been awesome. And I love her very dearly, and she makes me very happy. But I will say that when I did drop out of school, I was a very lost boy. I was very confused. I was, more than anything, I was like a very angry kid. And I didn't really know what I wanted. And she didn't really know what I wanted for myself, but that was okay with her. Where I think, like, for a lot of people, especially for dudes, it's like you got to have shit decided at a very young age. And I think that can become very stressful. And I think that's why kids, especially dudes, always end up killing themselves. Because you don't know what you want, but in society, they treat you like you have to know exactly what you wanted. So it's really cool to, like, find somebody who didn't really make me feel like I had to make a decision. I was just okay with just doing, like, non-valuable things as long as I was just being consistent with them. And I wasn't, like, doing anything, like, stupid. I think that was very important for me to have, at least, because it was just a matter of time before I pulled myself back up by my boots and I started taking care of myself, and the time is now. But I think it's very important to surround yourself with I don't think you even have a choice. I think you just get lucky with certain people, and I think I just got lucky with a specific person. It was somebody who can get through to me, whereas most people don't get through to me. Yeah, I would say most people, there's no chance for you to really get through to me.
That's
but
true. Pretty hard-headed.
Yeah, but it's not even like hard-headedness. It's just intelligence. Like, I don't know. I struggle really hard with listening to dumb people talk to me. I think that's it.
No, I think that you just don't like listening to other people.
I don't like people telling me things that aren't about me that people know about me.
I think when you were calling me every other weekend, like, crying and having a panic attack because you were so unhappy about college, like, and by the time it got to the point where we had decided it was best that you just, like, drop out, I mean, I don't think that I really thought that you were totally making the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I at least believe that it was something that, like, you were probably going to regret and that you were going to come back to later. But the thing with you was that, and, like, with all people, is you can't, like, teach someone something before they're ready to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell people things before they're ready to hear it.
Yeah.
And you weren't at that time, like, ready to hear that, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't have any, like, basis to go off of. I didn't have anyone to look at and be like, oh, no, this is, like, the answer.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I think that you, like, at the time that you were dropping out of college, you had just started up Silence. And I think a lot of it was kind of like an identity crisis for you.
Yeah.
Because at that same time, you were all about, like, Elon Musk and...
Still am.
Yeah, but you, like, thought you were Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And what's the guy with the Apple?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
I
You
never
thought
really got
that
too
you were
much
the
into
kind of person you thought that, like, you were the 1 in a million person who drops out of college because they're so brilliant and they're a genius and they're too smart for college. And so they just start their own business and it blows up overnight. And it didn't.
Because I'm not a sociopath like those people.
Well, yeah, and just that, like...
Just not smart enough.
That's not statistically the avenue that works. It's just the one that you hear about the most is these, like, freak stories. And that wasn't something that anyone telling you could have stopped, because people did try and tell you, like, that's not realistic. But it was just something that you had to live and try and find out yourself. And some people are like that. You just have to do it first.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, like, the Elon Musk and the Steve Jobs and the Mark Zuckerberg of the world, they're, like, destined to do it from childhood. Those people are crazy people. I was never elite like those guys are,
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's about that, but I think, I don't know, my concern when we first started dating was that you, honest to God, like, wanted to be the kind of person and live the kind of life that Steve Jobs lived. And as a girlfriend, I was like, that's not the life that I want. I want a well-balanced human being. So I think with those people, like, they don't really care. They just have their career path set out for them, and that's first and foremost, and that's their priority.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I did get a little obsessive with Elon for a while there. A little bit less obsessive now, I would say.
Yeah.
No, I just appreciate what he does. I love the counterculture that he is. That becomes culture. So you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
I don't feel like I'm that exciting.
No, you don't think so? Do you want to tell people what dysautonomia is? Because I tell people all the time about it, and I don't think every time I say it, I always tell them, yeah, her hands turn blue and she can't breathe sometimes. And I always say she got knocked in the head as a cheerleader.
Okay. So the story is that when I was a freshman in high school, I decided to do cheerleading because they had recently cut the gymnastics program, and I was a loser in high school. And I thought if I did cheerleading, that would make me super cool, which was ironic because cheerleading at my school was like the sport that you did if you weren't able to do anything else. Like, they just kind of took everybody. So, I was a terrible cheerleader despite having, like, years of background in gymnastics. So I was by far, like, the best tumbler out of varsity and JV, but because I was such an awful actual cheerleader, I didn't even make varsity cheerleading. And anyway, so we did.
She's not the cheering type.
No. I was actually cheer captain. Did you know that?
Ironic.
I was really good at giving convincing speeches.
Bullshitting people.
And so
Arab assholes.
I convinced my teammates to vote me. I was a co-captain with another girl, but it was ironic because I was a terrible cheerleader. Anyway, so we did this stunt like right before our competition at the end of the year, and I was a back, so I was like responsible for catching the girl, the flyer, and we had a pyramid scheme, and the middle girl fell, and so our girl fell, and then I had to catch her, and she elbowed me in the temple and then gave me whiplash at the same time, which was fine at first, but later, like a few minutes later, I got really dizzy and had to sit down, and eventually got diagnosed with a concussion. So I was out of school for at least a week. I missed all of my midterms, and I had school limitations for about a month. So as far as concussions go, I don't feel like that was a super serious concussion compared to other ones that I've like talked to people about, but I might be biased. So anyway, a few months later, after my concussion had pretty much dissolved, I started having like really weird symptoms of dizziness and exhaustion and headaches, and I was probably sleeping like 20 to 22 hours a day. Like I was just exhausted, and no one knew what was wrong with me, so I saw like all of these doctors everywhere, and I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease incorrectly, and then they diagnosed me with POTS.
Do they give you medication when they diagnose you with Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Oh.
It made me really sick.
That shit is strong, even if you do have Lyme disease.
Yeah, because the medication that I was on for Lyme's was, I think it was an antibiotic, I want to say. I could be wrong. But if you didn't take it with a lot of food, it made you really nauseous really fast. Mm-hmm. So I remember just like sitting there in class one day at my first period class in high school, like feeling totally fine. And then all of a sudden I was just like super sick, and had to like run out of class. So I was misdiagnosed with Lyme, and when I was finally diagnosed with POTS, I had to go to a doctor, a specialist in Virginia. Like it was an all-day trip. We spent the whole day there. So long story short, POTS is a form of dysautonomia, which is the malfunctioning of your autonomic nervous system, which controls your fight or flight responses. So my body is constantly in a fight or flight state. Makes sense. So
wait, what differentiates POTS from the other forms of dysautonomia?
So I think I don't know a whole lot about the other types because they're not as common, but I know the prognosis for each of them is different, and some of them can be hereditary. Like I know that one is hereditary, like hereditary dysautonomia.
But doesn't your brain like not tell your heart to properly pump blood or something like that?
So it's like, it's the specific condition that I have is postural related. So if I was laying down, hypothetically, I would be fine, which I wasn't oftentimes, but by diagnosis, that's what it was. And then as soon as you stand up, the criteria is you have an increase in heart rate of 30 beats per minute or more. So basically your body can't adjust to that change in posture. And that's like the diagnostic criteria, but I was experiencing the symptoms 24/7, and everyone I know with POTS has the same experience. It's not just like a temporary thing.
Is that why like your toes would turn blue and shit?
Yeah, so a lot of it was a circulation issue. Like my circulation was really terrible, and I remember like being so sick that I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would wake up like out of sleep because my hands hurt so bad because the blood was just pooling in my hands, and it was like causing me so much pain. And I would just go downstairs and my dad or my mom would just like rub my hands because they hurt so bad, just because of all the like.
That's because you're on your back?
No, not necessarily. It happened a lot of the time when I was like standing up and my arms were hanging down because I think I had really low blood pressure. And so it wouldn't like real scientific.
Yeah.
It wouldn't it wouldn't pump back up, I guess.
Yeah.
It pooled in my hands and my feet and my legs.
You had a weak heart pump flow.
Well, my heart was fine.
Weak blood flow.
It's just that my brain wasn't responding properly to the different postural changes in my body.
So like the internal like magnet was off kilter. Right?
Yes.
Kind of like, because if you're on your back and then like vertigo is the same thing. Like if you get up too quick, you're diagnosed with vertigo. It's because you're up straight, but your body is still in that halfway laying down up. So then the world starts spinning.
Yeah, vertigo is a little different because it has to do with your ears. And that was one of the first things. That was what we originally thought that I had was vertigo, because that's what it felt like. But yeah, it's
What happened to your vision? I think that's the more important.
Yeah, that's a more interesting one. I'm not really affected by the POTS so much anymore. I guess recently I have been.
It's almost like the kids flew
like yesterday.
Yeah.
The POTS kind of like comes and goes, and I'll have months or years when I don't even notice it, and then it kind of comes back. So that's been absent for a while. It seems to be making a comeback. But the more prevalent and I think like difficult to deal with thing right now is my vision. So I have visual snow, which you know about.
Which is, how would you describe that to somebody?
Visual snow is like seeing TV static all the time. And I kind of describe it, if anyone's ever had tinnitus, so like ringing of the ears, it's kind of like the visual version of that.
Yeah.
But
like everything, like every object has a slight vibration to it.
Yeah, everything kind of moves. I have really bad night vision. I see floaters, which a floater is like
Blank spaces of black, right?
It not necessarily. A floater can just be like a random color in the sky. Like I used to get them a lot with my eyes closed, and they would actually scare me. Like I'd be laying in bed and this floater would like come at me. It was this bright, vivid color. So what's actually happening is I'm hallucinating 24/7, is what it technically is. And for a while, they thought that it was associated with migraine auras. Like a lot of times when people get really bad migraines, they get a visual aura that comes with it.
Sounds like you're tripping off of shrooms.
What?
Sounds like you're tripping off of acid.
Well, and that's like what people who have visual snow who have also done drugs like that have said it's like that's what the comparison is like.
Whoa.
I read this one blog recently from someone who had done shrooms and also had visual snow, and that's how he described it. And I actually found that it was incredibly accurate, and a lot of stuff that he said was true, but things that I could never really pinpoint, like
Because you know where to compare it to.
yeah, like he mentioned like patterns pop out really vividly at you. Like I know whenever I go to a hotel, it drives me crazy because of the pattern of the carpet on the hotel floor, and it makes me so dizzy because it all just like moves. And so like patterns, and I see colors really vividly. Like my family always kind of thinks it's interesting because we have 4 chocolate labs, like 4 brown labs, and I think it's that my perception of the way that light specifically hits objects and affects their color is different from other people, and or perhaps more accurate. Like I'm more accurately seeing the colors that are there. Mm-hmm. And so I'll tell my parents like, oh, you know, Ellie has shades of orange today, or Phoebe has shades of blue. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. I think that people see it a lot in my paintings.
Yeah, that's why I say it, that painting of your 4 dogs.
Yeah.
You see different colors. Even like your paintings to like people.
Yeah.
What if you got knocked in the head and like visual snow is just like you're like one of the few humans that are escaping to the other side of the reality of the world? I know.
I've always thought about that.
Because people who do shrooms, they hallucinate and they see those images.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that.
What if you're like the bridge to your dreams? Like you're just one step closer to going to dream world.
Yeah, I don't know.
All those dumb people are just sitting here seeing as whatever eyes perceive.
It's a good question, and I have thought about it because I see things in really high contrast. So it's almost like I'm seeing them too accurately, I guess.
Where you're seeing them in different color and seeing things in different colors. In like you saw the viral video of the kid who saw color for the first time. It was all over social media. Like his whole world changed just by color.
Yeah.
So like if you could see different color, even if it's just minor, you see a few different colors of different objects minorly throughout the day, like you're perceiving an entire different world.
Yeah. That's true. And it's not super obvious. Like I can look at that cactus and like it's green. Yeah. I know it's green. But I think the colors of things just like pop out to me more. And
higher vibrance.
Yeah. A higher vibrance, higher contrast.
More natural, lively colors.
I don't know if they're more natural.
Yeah.
They're
more shades.
More exotic colors, but yes.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Only about an hour into it, 55 minutes into it. But I'm falling asleep over here.
I see that.
Do you want to keep going?
No, we can stop.
Is there anything else you want to cover?
Nope.
Do you have anything to say to these people? Did you have fun on your first time?
could have done better.
Well, it's your first time.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of times. You have plenty more times in the future. The late night ones aren't easy. Those aren't easy. They're harder. I've only ever done like 3 at this time of the night. You're about to fall asleep over there too. She's disappointed in herself. I know you guys enjoyed it. I know you guys like listening. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode right here. Episode 45 is in the book. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're on audio, please leave it a rating. 5 stars preferably if you liked it. If you hated it, leave it 0 stars. Just let me know why you hated it. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been me and Taylor Boyd. Catch you guys in episode 46. See ya.